to the news today. The season finale of the X Factor Israel ended with a new Israeli pop star, but also with a big gender controversy. A supermodel and anchor of the show, Bar Rafaeli, appeared on the show with two dresses that for some were a little bit too much. To add to that, the winner of the season also performed with minimal clothing on stage. There was outrage on Israeli social media saying that no wonder that women are not getting respect if they are dressing this way. But should it be a discussion? Should a miniskirt define you and who you are and what you represent? With me to discuss this is Dr. Hani Zubeida. Good evening.
Hi, good evening, Lucy.
And also co-founder of the Your Runway, Maayan, Keret. Good evening. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Okay, so for some, the mini skirt that Bar Rafaeli was wearing and something that the new pop star is wearing is not a good taste. Should it really define the way that people should respect you?
I definitely think it should. I wouldn't say define you, but I should say there should be a discussion. The clothing we wear as we are public figure are very important, and we have responsibility not only for our own persona. We are influencing other women and other youth girls.
So you think that when two, let's say, star or two women are dressing up like this, this is painting not a good picture for girls around Israel?
Definitely. I can give you an example. One of my workshop 2 weeks ago, a girl told me she's following an Instagram figure, one of the biggest figures, public figures in Israel, who wears very minimum clothes, her body is very thin, skinny, let's say. And she told me how she sees that and sound very bad. She was like saying she want to have the same bones and the same body. And next week after, privately, what happens with her, and she told me very, very bad things about the way she treats herself. I wouldn't say it's only because of this role model, but it's also because of these role models. And when you are a public figure, you have to you have to take care of how you influence, and the fact that you're not only a model, you are a role model, and people see you and look forward to see what you see.
I'm hearing what Maayan is saying, and I agree, because if I would have come for a job interview with a really mini skirt and a big cleavage, and I am smart and intelligent, and I am successful woman, and I'm a nice person in general, but when I'm sitting in a job interview like that, or when I am going on air like that, people won't take me in a serious way.
Let me put this in a wider spectrum, please, if you don't mind. First, there's the notion of Maayan being the discussion that Maayan is representing, and that's the body image discussion. Body image discussion set aside has nothing to do with last night, has everything to do with the fashion industry, has everything to do with the prototype and the Barbie and Ken models that we would like to set forth as the ultimate figures. Now, let's assume you're a size 42. And you come with a miniskirt. Now the question, are we talking body image or are we talking dresses? What I saw yesterday after the discussion has nothing to do with body image. Maayan is taking it into intellectual discussion, which is extremely important. How does this influence and affect the youth? But what happened yesterday had nothing to do with it. It was a misogynistic discussion. It was a semi-anti-women discussion. It was kind of like trying to make your best shot at this persona, Bar Rafaeli, at the expense of her clothes.
But most of the people who reacted to this, who reacted to her dress, were women, saying some kind of if you're dressing like that, don't be surprised that people are not respecting you.
That is a way. That saying is it's too far. They went too far. But I won't say. I won't take only Bar Rafaeli as example. I say we speak. I think we speak about Miley Cyrus and Bar Rafaeli and women, because I have nothing against
Exactly.
Rafaeli. I think she's great.
Yeah.
I just think she went a little too far with the clothing yesterday, and I think it's the same with Miley Cyrus. I think I agree, we don't have to speak about the body image, but we still, even fashion-wise, even clothing-wise, I think if a woman want to get attention, want to be beautiful, she doesn't have to put all her body outside. I think it's okay to want to be beautiful, it's okay to want to be, you know, but why like that? Why went so far?
There's a huge differentiation here. There's a contention point because you were going that way. You were talking about the notion of women, talking about Bar Rafaeli and the way that people will not treat her seriously.
Yeah, they were not the men who were talking about, I'm not respecting a woman if she is not dressing in a certain way. It was the women that actually saying and targeting Bar Rafaeli and targeting models and targeting Miley Cyrus for giving bad example.
It's a bit problematic that I say that, but it's the internalization of the oppression, of the gender oppression. Women are internalizing gender oppression. When David Bowie decided to wear shorts and go all out loud with his body, or Iggy Pop did that, or other male singers did that, nobody said a word. When the Red Hot Chili Peppers decided to take socks and put them not on their feet, nobody said a word. Now, when a woman like Miley Cyrus is doing exactly the same, like a pop star, in order to provoke, people are all over the place. What I'm saying is something extremely simple.
But when Elvis, shook his...
Yes, I agree, but that was the 50s. But then in the 60s, when women started walking with miniskirts in London, we saw the exact same reaction to what Bar is saying. But let's ask a different question. What would happen if a woman like that walks into an office and she already works there and somebody harasses her? Can he say, well, I couldn't help myself. This is the way she's dressed. She's calling for it. That's a problem. Body image set aside, huge issue.
I agree. It's not. She's not calling for that, and if she wants, she can dress like that. It's her.
Doesn't make her less smart, less serious, less respectable. It only makes her clothing, I don't know, likings and dislikings, a bit odd to me as well, but that's the way she decided to appear.
You know, there is a problem with the way, let's say, we are taking and, let's say, idolizing the images. Like, we are not seeing, for example, the editor, Chai, the editor, just told me Golda as a role model. We're not seeing Tzipi Livni as a role model. We're not seeing Hillary Clinton as a role model. But a lot of young people, a lot of young girls will see Miley Cyrus, Bar Rafaeli, Giselle, young actresses that are putting it out there, and this is what? This is something that
Exposure,
is wrong with women.
No.
That they think that they need to actually get higher, and in order for us to get higher, we need to take out some things.
It's a male-driven industry. It's a male-driven industry. These are men who stand at the top of the hierarchy and decide how they need to look on TV in order to seduce the public to do whatever they want them to do. Pop, music, acting, modeling, and so on are men-driven industry. This is why Maayan is so different in that context when she comes and she tries to do something else with the child.
Maayan, you experienced that. You were in this industry that you were judged only by men.
True.
How does it feel?
I don't know. I didn't feel I'm judged only by men. I know that from knowing and reading, but there are a lot of women in the industry as well. So I think as a young model, I started 16. I didn't have the knowledge or the how can I say the tools to be the role model I was supposed to. I think a lot of those girls, they are great and they have great personalities and great charisma, but they don't really have the talent or the skills, let's say the skills, to be a role models, they are like the leaders today. And I don't know if they can and they are able to be really good leaders.
But it's good that they have you, Maayan, Keret, to show them the way. Thank you very much for this conversation. Thank you, Dr. Hani Zubaydah, for this.